You're joking. You know I'm terrible at jokes. It's April the 1st or something. It's May. Wait, you know the date? I mean, how much did Bulma pay you? I'm serious! Come on, Goku! Raditz rounded on his brother. You expect me to believe there's a human we've never heard of or seen before who's just going to randomly turn up at this tournament, and he's as strong as us? You don't think that sounds a little suspicious? Goku just gazed off into the sky and started whistling. You're impossible! I just wish this queue would hurry up and get moving, Pan grumbled. Now 9, she was currently wearing a copy of the orange gi that had, over the years, gone from being the symbol of the Turtle Hermit's teachings to the trademark of Goku's family. She was also extremely bored, as 9-year-olds are to be, and pacing in ever faster circles around her grandfather and his brother, kicking up clouds of dust. Another item of note was the tail snaking back from her waist, twitching impatiently. The ever-unpredictable combination of human and Saiyan DNA had shown itself again in her tail that hadn't actually grown for a few years until after her birth. While a surprise, as Earth was still lacking a moon, it was hardly a problem. What's the holdup anyway? Goku wondered, trying to peer over an extremely large wrestler that stood directly in front of him. It's the Wonder Twins over there, Raditz sighed. Listen. Indeed, as Goku focused his hearing, he picked out the raised voices of Vegeta Jr. and Goten, and the defensive, placating tones of a quite frightened organizer. And I'm telling you, Gogeta can't come here right now! We're signing up for him! I'm afraid all contestants must sign up in person. He'll be here! Look, just have one of us go instead if he isn't! Goten pounded the table, managing to restrain himself from breaking it. Why do we have to go through this every time? We've won this damn thing once. Is the concept of fusion that hard to explain? He and his fellow fusee made a strange contrast. Messy, floppy hair, though no longer exactly like Goku's, versus vertical, unbending spike. T-shirt and jeans versus faux military wear with touches of Saiyan royal garb. A default facial expression somewhere between confusion and exasperation versus an aura of grumpiness. Yes, this fusion you keep mentioning, the organizer hazarded. Could you perhaps demonstrate it to me? If that really produces your fighter, he could sign up himself. Hell no! Vegeta growled. It only lasts half an hour, and I'm not using up half of our fight time just to satisfy some pen-pushing flunky! And so it went. Raditz clutched his head to his hands, eye twitching. Goku? Hold me back. I think I'm going to murder them. Quite some time later. Alright everyone, the announcer, the same World Tournament announcer as always, at that, declared, gesturing wildly with his microphone, the preliminaries have concluded, and please welcome our 8 finalists with a big hand. That's Pan, Raditz, Narig, Oob, Son Goku, Wild Tiger, Marin, and... Captain Chicken? Captain Chicken, everybody. I could not make this up. Hey, Grandpa. Pan asked Goku as they lined up in front of the ring to draw their matchups. What happened to Break and Gogeta? Break had the misfortune of coming up against her old man in the preliminaries. Raditz answered with a grin. In case you were wondering, yes, we both went Super Saiyan 3. Oh, so that's what that repair crew was about. Marin commented, leaning in to hear their conversation. 18 and Krillin's daughter definitely took more after her mother than her father in appearance, apart from a slight, wide-eyed, round-faced touch that hinted at Krillin's influence. Yeah, with that much force behind each of our punches, I managed to force a ring out pretty quickly. Raditz finished, folding his arms and exuding smugness. And as for Gogeta, Goku continued with a snicker. He defused right before a match, so he couldn't show up in time and got disqualified. The preliminaries are held pretty close together. He paused, his smile growing warmer and less joking. I'm actually kind of relieved. His power's grown enormously since last time, and I don't think I could beat him anymore. Those kids have really grown up. I'm proud. Launch, trailing smoke and looking rather dejected, made her way to a seat with Videl and Gohan on one side, and Bulma's family on the other, including her and Zarbon's daughter, whose name, Bra, would have been the mockery of the playground if it were not for her terrifying and overprotective parents, lifting Oolong out of the seat and tossing him in an unsuspecting man's lap behind them. What happened? What happened to you? Bulma asked, coughing and waving the smoke away. Launch sighed. Gogeta happened. I entered without telling the guys and wanted to surprise him in the finals. Guess not. Trunks replied, nodding in solidarity. That sucks. Launch raised an eyebrow. Say, you didn't enter? I mean, I know your dad's a lazy sod, but... Zarbon put a hand on his son's shoulder. And Trunks here follows in my magnificent example, of course. Right. Trunks agreed, giving an abashed grin. I haven't really done any fighting for years now. Mom's been letting me help run the company, though, so I've been pretty busy. Launch hummed, shooting him a sidelong glance. You sure you didn't even have the slightest interest? Break entered, after all. What does that have to do with anything? Trunks burst out, gesticulating frantically. We're friends, that's all. Just what are you implying? Oh, nothing. I mean, you're both 18 now. You shouldn't need me to imply anything for you. Will you stop? Trunks yelled, face a pastiche of green, red, and blue. Before he could continue, however, Break approached, in a similar charged state to her mother, before falling into his seat, not noticing that Gohan was currently occupying it. Gohan asked, tactfully trying to shove her off, with no success. What happened? Dad happened, she grumbled. I almost had him, but his stupid instant transmission. I see. Well, there's always next time, Videl said, patting Break's shoulder. Right! Break stuck a clenched fist into the air. Like in an hour or two. As soon as he leaves the building, I'll jump him! He'll be weakened from all the fighting. Not really what I meant. Vengeance will be mine! Raditz dusted off his hands, stepping out of the ring. That Nereg actually had a pretty high power level. Humans really are coming a long way. He hadn't changed much since the great battles of the past decade, other than becoming more casual in his appearance, adopting an entirely human dress sense barring a couple of touches. One of his old gauntlets, for instance. This in contrast to his brother, who aside from changing to a darker shade of blue, accompanied by yellow pants, looked just about the same as always. It helped that Saiyans age considerably slower than humans. You ready, Pan? Raditz asked. The quarter Saiyan girl grinned. Yep. She half skipped, half floated up to the ring, bowing to her opponent, the impressively built, ridiculously costumed Captain Chicken. Yes, Captain Chicken. Apparently he was completely serious. The battle was short, but far from dull. The preposterous man strutted around for a bit, declaring his intention to rise to greatness and fight evil and so forth, and after a minute or so, Pan waved a hand across his face, snapping him out of it. Ugh! He yelped, jumping back slightly. My apologies, I do get carried away. Now! She may be young, but I must not underestimate her. She did make it through the preliminaries. He held both hands out facing her, beginning to hum tunelessly. Ooh, super ultimate destructive. Pan scratched her head, standing still. Are you done? Chicken! Seriously, any day now? Wave! He finished, triumphantly firing a decent-sized energy beam. Ha! He bellowed, watching it seemingly hit his opponent dead on. However, a moment later, her after-image faded and vanished. Floating behind him, Pan tapped the self-proclaimed superhero's shoulders. So, she asked, was that it? He began, but before he could finish, he gave a gentle shove that slammed him back into the arena wall, earning him a ring out and nearly a concussion. Marin's match with the slightly, mind you, less outlandishly named Wild Tiger was equally short-lived and equally memorable. Once the blonde teenage girl had finished chasing her opponent, who looked like he was born of an illicit coupling between Genghis Khan and a brick wall, around the ring and finally delivered the knockout blow, the final match of the first round could get underway. So, none of our opponents have been up to much. Raditz observed as Goku walked past him, stretching. That means this kid is the one? The superhuman of yours? Yeah. Goku nodded, tightening his belt. Check out his name. Try spelling it backwards. What? Why? Raditz exploded, but reluctantly glanced at the list of competitors. Let's see. What was his... Oob? Boo? You can't be serious. Sure I am. Goku grinned. When we killed Majin Buu, I made a half-serious request that I'd see him again someday as a good person. Well, somebody, Kaioshin, King Yemma, who knows, saw me helping save the universe and threw me a bone. So here he is. Buu reincarnated in human form. Unbelievable. Raditz muttered. I just wish I'd known about this before you... Why? So you could beat me to fixing the match order? Well, Wait, you did what? Raditz burst out, but Goku was already gone, heading for the ring. Come to think of it, it was a little suspicious that he's facing Oob in the first round like this. I suppose telekinesis isn't exactly a rare feat for us, but I didn't know he had the kind of precision to fix drawing lots like that. Oob gulped, the intimidating sight of the cheering crowds giving him pause. Even the preliminaries, with dozens of other fighters shoving by, hadn't prepared him for the sheer mass of humanity on display here. Before today, he'd never seen more than 100 or so people at one place before. It's fine, just ignore the crowd, Oob. You did fine in the preliminaries. This'll be exactly the same. Right, I can do this. I have to. He took slow, deep breaths as he climbed into the ring, glancing nervously at his opponent, a wild-haired, blue and yellow garbed man, currently doing warm-up stretches and acting like the 1,000-strong audience wasn't even there. Come on, I can win. Everyone's counting on me to get this prize money. Goku watched Oob approaching, pretending not to notice his presence and weighing him up. Supposedly, he was from a tropical island only just south of where the tournament was being held, and it seemed from his outfit that they weren't very well off. His hair curved up and forwards in sloppy spikes from the back of his skull, hanging over his forehead, almost like Buu's antenna in reverse, which couldn't have been a coincidence. His power's impressive. I felt it from far off recently, but he's hiding it now, intentionally or not. The announcer cleared his throat, having finished introducing the contestants to the audience. Son Goku! Oob! Ready? And begin! Alright. Goku took a step forwards, but grimaced as Oob immediately flinched back, trembling. Huh. Stage fright. I guess that's not good. He can't fight properly like this. Maybe if I rile him up. Unfortunately, this being Goku, subtle emotional manipulation was not exactly his specialty. Hey you! Oob blinked, warily raising his guard. Yeah, you gonna fight me already? Or gonna go home and cry to mommy? Who's fat? What? Your, mother fat and, He frowned. Man, Frieza made this insults thing seem easy. And your father smells of elderberries. Oh, for the love of Goku! Raditz's telepathic voice cut Goku off. Listen, ass clown! See, you can do it, Goku observed. Why is it that everyone else finds this so easy? Shut up. Look, just hit him. If you want to draw his true power, put him in danger. Sure, but that might be a little dangerous. Oh, he'll be fine. He's a reborn Majin Buu. He's not going to be easy to kill. If you say so. Excuse me, Oob asked timidly. Are you alright, sir? Do you need a minute? Goku grinned. Sorry about all that earlier. I was trying to make you mad so I could see your full power. But I think, in a blur of motion, he was in front of Oob, kicking at the young fighter's head. I've got a better way! Gah! Oob felt an impact on his forearms and skidded back almost to the edge of the ring, then paused. He hadn't realized he'd moved his arms up to block. I've never moved that fast before. There you go. More of that and you'll be fine. Goku settled to the ground, grinning. You'll probably never have fought like this, but you'll find you've got a lot more in you than you realize. Goku dashed in and punched at Oob, who dodged, catching the second punch and throwing one of his own. Goku jumped back, feeling it graze his nose. His smile grew wider. Yeah, that's it! You were right, Oob mumbled. I'm the strongest in my village by far, but you're really something else. I can't believe I'm fighting you like this. How did you know all this anyway? Who are you? Tell you later, Goku said excitedly, raising his guard. Come on, don't you want to fight me? To see what you can really do? Oob instinctively wanted to say no. He'd never been interested in fighting for its own sake. But something stopped him, the words catching in his throat. A hungry grin spread across his face. Yeah. He kicked off the ground, leading with a few jabs and pursuing Goku as the larger contestants slowly retreated. Goku countered with a downwards elbow, but Oob soon recovered and was back on the offensive. Hey, you're even better than I thought you'd be, Goku commented, ducking back to avoid a high-spin kick. Ugh, I did get training from my uncle, Oob grunted, continuing his assault. And he used to get lessons from someone who'd read some book on this stuff. Oh, Gohan's book, Goku asked. Cool, you must already know some of the basics. He broke away again, rising slightly into the air. I guess I can cut loose a little more. Yeah, I've heard some people like you can fly, Oob said, nodding. I never got that one myself, but I can do this! He thrust an open hand upwards, sending a ripple of force through the air, knocking Goku back down into the ring. Oh! Goku stood up, rubbing his head. A Ki, huh? That ki control was pretty good. He's not even scratched, Oob realized. Still, I'm keeping up with him. It still kinda seems like he's playing around. Sorry, I can't let you win. I've gotta get this prize money. I need to buy food for everyone back home. If you say so, Goku nodded. Then do your best. But if you're going to attack from a distance, he brought his hands together in front of him. Kame! Raditz gave a start, before quickly relaxing. Good, he's not putting anything like full power into this. You had me worried for a second there, Goku. Kame! Whoa! Oob took a step back as Goku's building energy ball exuded waves of power, growing brighter by the second. That's some crazy energy! Ha! Goku yelled, letting the energy beam fly. Oob jumped, avoiding the attack by a hair, but Goku had been expecting this. Extinguishing the Kamehameha before it could hit the stands behind, he leapt up at Buu, a two-fisted hammer launching him down at the ground. However, he seemed to skid to a halt in midair just before touching the grass, floating there calmly. Goku gaped. Hey, you're flying? Well, yeah. Oob laughed nervously. I mean, you had made it look so easy, so I just sorta jumped and didn't fall. Whoa. Goku blinked. He learned it just by seeing it once. Just like Buu. Alright, Oob charged back up at Goku, renewing his attack. Goku retreated down into the ring, throwing a few attacks of his own. The thunderous noise of their continuing battle drowned out the announcer's hyperbolic commentary, and over in the stands, brought a warm smile to Chi-Chi's face. He hasn't been this happy for a long time. Hakaishin Temple. Whis, as he was wont to do, paced the long dark halls of the temple. It is unusually insightful of Lord Beerus to realize that the Super Saiyan God was not the type to want a rematch anytime soon. He chose to have a full-length sleep this time and will probably not wake again for several decades. I am thankful, though. It gives me time to think. The signs have been aligning. The Eternal cannot be far away now. However, it lives in time nigh uncountable. It makes even the days of the Hakaishin seem fleeting. Soon might be a scant few years. It might be centuries. Why do I get the feeling that those Saiyans are going to get mixed up in this business? That's it for chapter 102. I'll see you in chapter 103 in a few seconds. Stay tuned. I've come to the conclusion, after a combination of deep meditation and intense study, that the Super Saiyan chain of transformations has the potential for this demigod key, as Shenron has told me the state between mortal and divine is known, but in addition to the typical requirement of an emotional trigger, one must also have trained to an extremely high level, possibly not even a recently transformed Super Saiyan 2, without some mastery of the form, would be capable of accomplishing this feat. This demigod level seems to have become my default power level since my brief time in the Super Saiyan God form. Repeated tests revealed that I can now break light speed only in straight line acceleration, whereas in melee combat, I can but approach it, which is still more than the others, of course. I assume that in a time of need, my full divine ki, and perhaps even the actual God form, will likely reassert itself, as it did in those final desperate moments fighting against Beerus, but what I have is more than enough for now. To tell the truth, I pray the situation is never again grave enough to require the Super Saiyan God's power. Private Journal of Son Gohan. Goku deflected a strike aimed at his head, using his other hand to knock Oob's guard away and bringing a knee up into his opponent's chin, sending him tumbling away. He's good, and he's learning quickly as we fight. He quickly charged a ki blast, throwing it after Oob, who righted himself and knocked it away before launching a stream of them back. Goku tensed up as they approached, letting out a ki-infused yell and shattering the barrage of energy attacks. That's some intense fighting, Bulma commented. I suppose, Launch replied, but Goku's barely trying. Still, it's impressive for a kid that young. It's kinda boring. Trunks sighed, to a nod of agreement from Bra. It just looks all the same after a while. Break sniffed. Can't appreciate beauty in motion. Philistines. Ooh, bad move, Launch whispered to Trunks. That had to hurt your chances, kiddo. Chances! Trunks hissed back. What is your problem, lady? I'm not interested in your daughter! In a flash, Launch had a hand around his throat, glaring into his eyes. Leaving aside your laughable cover-up attempt, what's that supposed to mean, eh? You saying my little girl isn't good enough for you? Trunks gulped, seeing his life flash before his eyes. That is to say... Meanwhile, Oob was staring at his hand, blinking slowly. What did I just... Energy Blast 2! Goku laughed. You really do catch on quick. Yeah, I've never fought like this before. I really don't understand it. Want me to teach you how? What? Forget this tournament, okay? You've got a lot more potential than you realize. I can train you if you like. Sorry, I really have to win, Oob explained. Everyone back home needs money for food. Don't worry about it. Goku waved as if to brush this intangible fear away. I'm friends with one of the world's richest families. I'm sure I can get them to help. Come on, don't you want to get even stronger? Oob's eyes gleamed, and he gave a mock salute. Yeah, sure. You two, the announcer asked. Any chance we could finish the fight? Maybe have your chat afterwards? Just a minute. Goku assured him, then looked back up at Oob. Alright then. Say, what if I come and live with you, so I can train— Hold it! Goku paused. Are you stupid or something? Asked a familiar double voice. Gogeta, standing atop the main tournament building, arms folded and glaring up at Goku. Evidently his between fusion time had passed. The kids have a point, Raditz shouted up. You can't just take off. Hey now, Goku said hastily, waving his hands defensively. I'd come and visit from time to time. Listen! Gogeta snapped. How am I supposed to have my rematch with you if you just up and leave, huh? You have to stay and train with me! And then we'll fight again at the next tournament, okay? I promise I'll kick your ass next time! He sniffed, trying to maintain his composure. You can't go! Guys, Goku groaned. I can't just ignore this chance. Oob might be a great successor. He might even save the Earth someday, but I need to... Chi-Chi's voice joined the chorus of disagreement. I'm glad those guys stalled him for a while. If he'd gotten some momentum going, I don't think I've been able to stop him. Goku! You're not going anywhere, do you hear? Do you want Goten and me to spend who knows how long without you? Chi-Chi, I can't say no to you, but you gotta understand. But, she continued with a wry grin. If you want to do what normal martial arts masters do, and arrange training times with your young friend here, then that's your business. Goku smiled broadly. Yes, ma'am. So, the announcer was trying to follow all this, and failing. Is the match continuing or not? Yes, Oob announced stridently. If you're going to be my teacher, then you've already paid me a great kindness, Mr. Goku. I don't think I can take your friend's money as well. He pointed straight at Goku, determination rising behind his eyes. I'm going to win, and earn that money for myself. What a dilemma, Raditz thought. Goku can't wait to fight this guy, I can tell. But if he goes all out, he'll win easy in that money. Even if one of us wins and gives it to Oob, he won't take it well. Yeah, I think you will. Goku nodded. I forfeit. The announcer raised his microphone. Oh! Contestant Son Goku, after a heated debate with his family and friends, has thrown in the towel. Goku floated to the ground, the bewildered Oob following shortly. Of course, you'll still have to win 2 fights, but... Raditz clapped his hand on his younger brother's shoulder. You know that won't happen if I even transform once. Well, which is why I forfeit too. Raditz grinned broadly, looking very similar to his brother for an instant. And so do the girls, don't you? Pan kicked at the dirt, tail twitching. I wanna fight! I know you do. Me too. But Oob and his village need the prize money a lot more than we do, you understand? This will help a lot of people who really need it right now. Oob was stunned. You guys! Tears welled at the corner of his eyes. Thank you so much! The announcer paused for a moment, scanning the area. So, ladies and gentlemen, it seems, in an unprecedented turn of events, 4 of our 5 remaining competitors have chosen to forfeit, which leaves, I suppose, young Oob as the World Martial Arts Champion. It may be an unorthodox victory, but he's still come a long way and fought many hard battles to get here. So, a big hand for our winner, please! Let's hear it! I'm getting better at flying, Dad, really! Marin protested. Yes, darling, but we live a long way away. Krillin reminded her, then turned to his wife. So, you want to carry her, or shall I? You two go on ahead, 18 said, giving him a quick kiss on the cheek. I'll be a few minutes, okay? Once they'd taken off, she strolled over into a nearby bar, spied Launch at a table in the corner, and sat down opposite her. So, what was it you wanted to talk about? Does she know? Launch asked bluntly. No, what? You know what I mean. Since your upgrade. Nothing feels the same, does it? It's eating at your mind. 18 paused. How did you... Got Bulma drunk. She told me all about it. Launch lit a drink over towards 18. Figured I'd do the same with you, find out how you're dealing with it. 18 shrugged, took a swig. Thanks, but my threat detection system classes it as a toxin, so no luck. She leaned back in her chair. Yeah, he knows. You told him, or he found out? 10 years is a long time, 18 explained. Hell, 2 years is a long time. Not long after all that god crap. I broke down, blurted it all out. She smiled sadly. Of course, even by then, Bulma was working on fixes, gods bless her. The matter of personal religious belief had become rather confused after meeting actual physical gods. So I had some feeling back. You know what he did? He didn't get upset, or ask why I hadn't told him, or say I shouldn't have gone through with it in the first place. He just asked where I could feel, and... She downed the rest of the drink, knowing full well the minimal effect it would have on her enhanced immune system. You know, people ask me, why Krillin? Not in a mean way, just curious. Because, you know, there are guys out there who come up to your shoulders at least, and have noses? Launch guessed. Don't mind me, just what came to mind. I know he's lovely and all. I guess that's about it, yeah. And to be honest, I never used to know why him. I mean, you said it, he's lovely. He's a nice guy. But there's never really been one thing I could put my finger on. Till that moment. Because there's nice, and then there's him. And I used to think he was the lucky one. Launch grinned, the contents of her glass having vanished in an instant. Oh, he's lucky. More than we guessed. 18 gave a sly look. If you didn't know me, how old would you say I was? Launch blinked. Wow, like 20s. I hadn't even noticed I've known you so long. Right. I mean, We don't know exactly when Jiro got his hands on 17 in me, but I must be 30s, 40 something like that. She tapped on the table. Bulma says it works out to about a quarter normal speed. Launch laughed. Funny that. You ever think I'm looking pretty good for my age too? Oh, a modest one, 18 joked. But yeah, I guess. What, did having a Saiyan kid growing in you for 9 months, I don't know, leak DNA or something? Nah, nothing like that. Launch waved to the bartender, who nodded. Yeah, another 2 of the same, 18 requested. Right, and one for her too. Launch added. 18 rolled her eyes. As I was saying, Launch continued. I must have told you my whole 2 souls merged dealie at some point. Yeah, one of Bulma's parties. She does love those. Launch stretched, yawning. The thing is, it boosted my power a lot, but it turns out it went deeper than that. I hadn't realized what the whole physical change between personalities actually meant. Right, your hair. Yeah, it was like 2 bodies sharing one space. She attempted to illustrate this with some finger waving. Not an easy task when holding 2 full glasses and endeavoring to transform them into empty glasses. 2 separate lifespans, now merged into one. So I'm aging pretty slowly too. Hell, I might even keep up with Raditz at this rate. Heh. 18 scratched her head. Yeah, between us and the Saiyans, we're going to be around for a while, huh? Not to mention Kuriza. He's still barely in his teens and he's been around for ages. Where was he today anyway? He usually loves hanging out with the other kids. Launch stifled a bellow of laughter. Yeah, turns out he's been hiding most of the day. He's part of Break's plan to ambush her dad when... The building rumbled in response to a distant explosion. Yeah, that'd be them. Raditz slumped onto the couch, back home. Crashes echoed in from outside. Break and Kuriza were still playing, and their energy seemed endless. Launch was still out, not that he minded. Restlessness was in her nature. After the kid's ambush, he was just about ready to sleep for the rest of the day. Raditz. Ugh. Reluctantly, the Saiyan rolled over, facing upwards and seeing a familiar metallic face staring down at him. Baby? What are you doing on my ceiling? I was actually on the couch, but then you almost collapsed on me. The Tuffle cyborg replied, jumping down. I thought you'd notice, but you must be pretty beaten up. Nah, just tired. My kid can really give me a workout. I'm gonna have to start training harder. He sighed. New question. What were you doing on my couch? Most of the other powerful fighters around are preoccupied. I just figured I'd deliver a friendly warning to someone, at least. Warning? Raditz sat up. What's up? Well, it's no big deal. I mean, it's the same old story. In 2 years, an evil presence will arrive, threaten Earth, and so on and so forth. So, what? We should train to prepare for it? What is it? I wouldn't worry. Baby waved a dismissive hand. It's really not much of a threat at your current level. Honestly, I'll probably end up killing it myself. I just thought I'd let you know as insurance, I guess. So if you sense a battle like that in a couple of years and it's not going my way, help would be appreciated. But odds are you'll never hear anything about it again, so I won't bother you with the details. He turned and headed out the door. Baby! Raditz called after the scientist. How do you know this? Isn't this the kind of thing Dende or someone would hear about first? He'll probably detect it sooner to its arrival. I know because when people tell me about the battles they fought in the past, I pay attention. Close attention. With this unhelpful comment, he was gone. Raditz stared blankly out the open doorway. I don't get that guy at all sometimes. Thank you for listening to chapters 102 and 103. In a few days from now, I'll be posting chapter 104 of Break Through the Limit, which will be the final chapter of Break Through the Limit, obviously. For even further beyond, I'm still trying to figure out scheduling and whatnot, so I'll keep you all informed as soon as I can. Anyway, else, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, favorite, comment, and subscribe. Tell your friends, follow me on Twitter to keep up to date with the show. And as always, I'll see you in the next video. Stay safe. Ginger Powers, signing off.